Hey, what's up everybody, this is Dom, and today we are comparing the 16GB 5th generation iPod Touch to the higher capacity models that Apple has. Now right off the bat, you'll notice that the higher capacity iPod Touch has a camera and also the little button down here at the bottom for the loop accessory, and you can pull it out and attach it right there. So the very first thing that I noticed when I took the 16GB version out of the box is that the higher capacity model has a shiny Apple and iPod logo on the back, while the 16GB version actually has a flat black. It didn't really bother me, but it's definitely a noticeable difference there. On the side of the device, you won't notice any major differences, and you still do have that chamfered edge that's seen on the iPhone 5 as well. Taking a look at the other side, you'll notice that the volume buttons are actually made out of plastic on the 16GB model, whereas on the 32 and 64GB models, they are actually made out of aluminum, matching the color of the body. On the top side of the device, you'll also notice a difference in the lock button. As you can see, the 16GB version is plastic, and right next to it too, you'll notice that you have a microphone there. That is because on the 32 and 64GB models, you actually have the microphone in between the flash and the camera, which obviously isn't available on the 16GB version, so Apple decided to stick it next to the lock button. On the front side, you'll still notice that the 16GB version does have a FaceTime camera to match the higher capacity models, so that is definitely a good thing. And as you would expect, when you unlock your device using the camera grabber here, it'll immediately launch to the front-facing camera. So everything in iOS operates pretty much the same, and as you would expect, on the higher capacity iPod Touch over here, when you pull up the camera grabber, it launches the rear camera first. And finally, there's nothing to talk about on the bottom of the device here, it's all the same. So this was just an overview of the differences between these two iPod Touch models. Now, there's not a whole lot different, but if you value a camera, you may want to get the larger capacity iPod Touch over the 16GB version. This lower capacity 5th generation iPod Touch was actually meant to replace the 4th generation iPod Touch here, so if you want one of those, I'd go pick one up because you won't be seeing them very much longer in stores, and Apple's going to completely phase them out. Aside from what I explained in this video, everything between the 16, 32, and 64GB 5th generation iPod Touch models is exactly the same. They all have the same IPS Retina display, they all have an A5 processor in them, and they all run the same version of iOS. The one thing that I do enjoy about this model replacing the 4th generation is the backside of it. That backside of the 4th generation iPod Touch is a scratch magnet, for sure. Every single one I've seen is completely scratched up, and I like the smooth, brushed aluminum finish that's seen on the newer 5th generation iPod Touch models. Some people may call it a downgrade because you're not getting a camera on this model, but in my opinion, you're getting way better internal specs. You're getting a better screen, you're getting a 4-inch display, you're getting the A5 processor. Overall, it's a much better device. It's just missing the camera. That's really it. I hope you enjoyed this brief comparison video. Be sure to let me know which one of these models you prefer down in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, everybody. This is Dom, and have a great day.